My guest today is Pamela Grundy, and she has done a lot of research in Charlotte Mecklenburg schools. Her book is called Color and Character, and she has looked at the impact of race and what's happened in Charlotte Mecklenburg schools. And so, Pamela, I'm going to let you tell your amazing story of what happened with your involvement at Shamrock, was it Shamrock Gardens Elementary.
Back in 2005, our son Parker was beginning moving up to kindergarten. He would end up going to kindergarten the fall of 2006, and we lived in Plaza Midwood. Um, and the school assigned to Plaza Midwood was Shamrock Gardens Elementary, that had struggled enormously in the previous years. And I think just a few years before that, it had actually been flagged as one of the 6 lowest performing elementary schools in the entire state of North Carolina. It was a school that educated high poverty, high minority group of students who really struggled, and there just wasn't a lot of attention paid to the school. So it was struggling in lots of ways. We lived in the neighborhood. Our son was assigned to Shamrock. This was fairly soon after the busing plan had ended, official desegregation had ended. My husband and I felt very strongly that we didn't want to be part of the problem of fleeing to the higher performing schools. We really wanted to see if it was possible for us to make a difference at this school that was struggling by sending our son there. We wanted to do it. And so we started a campaign to try to get other families in Plaza Midwood to do this. And I think the key to all of this is the Charlotte Observer picked up on this. And quite early in our efforts said, oh, we'd love to follow you and tell the story of this couple who's trying to reintegrate the school. And we said, sure, that'd be fine. And so Peter Smolowitz, the Observer reporter, followed our story and through all sorts of things. And then there ended up being 2 back-to-back front page articles in the Observer just before school opened. Our son was going to Shamrock, and there were 2 major feature articles about how we were attempting to reintegrate Shamrock Gardens and improve the school for all the kids. And these articles really struck a chord, I think, with white Charlotteans. I still today, 15 plus years later, run into people who remember them because it was essentially cast as the story of a white mother, myself, who was sending her child in the, noble quest of sending her child to this challenge school in an attempt to make it better. And at that point, Charlotte schools had resegregated. I think many people were feeling very guilty about that, white people, that, clearly the city was not what it had been in terms of racial equity. And so the story of here's somebody doing this resonated with people. And we got lots of support, lots of that. If there had been, again, an African American woman, probably regardless of education, who was saying the same things I did and doing the same things I did, I frankly don't think that she would have been as effective, not because of herself, but because of white privilege and who's believed and who's listened to and that kind of thing. I mean, I had a sense of that before I started at Shamrock. And boy, I came out of that experience with a profound understanding of how much that matters. There were kids who were there already, who were, you know, as good as, better than, all sorts of things. So it's not about the kids that were there. It was about the resources and the focus and all of those kinds of things. It's the best thing. That's the best decision I ever made in my life. Well, other than maybe marrying my husband, to go to Shamrock, because it was a remarkable experience and we all learned and we grew so much.